Welcome back. In this video, we're breaking down the 6 most valuable and high-worth Washington quarter-dollar coins ever found. These are the ultra-rare quarters that can turn a simple 25-cent piece into hundreds, thousands, and in some cases, far more. If you want to know which Washington quarters carry the biggest price tags in today's market and what makes them so valuable, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. First up, we're diving into the most valuable and expensive ultra-rare Washington quarter Bicentennial with the Denver D mint mark from the year 1776 to 1976, and in this case, a coin discovered in very dirty, worn, circulated condition. Even with that heavy circulation, even with decades of grime and handling, this Bicentennial Drummer Boy quarter has become a symbol of hidden treasure, because certain examples can still reach astonishing values in today's collector market. If you're passionate about rare finds, unusual minting outcomes, and coins that have seen real circulation but still hold incredible worth, you're in the right place. Let's break down why this single quarter can transform from a forgotten piece of pocket change into a powerhouse collectible worth far more than 25 cents. The 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Washington quarter with the Denver D mint mark remains one of the most recognizable American coins ever struck. It was issued to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the founding of the United States, and because of that cultural moment, millions of Americans saved them, spent them, and carried them across the country like small historical souvenirs. What makes this quarter especially collectible is not only the special Drummer Boy design on the reverse, but the fact that a small number of Denver minted examples, especially those that show striking anomalies, planchette issues, or unusually strong details, have exploded in value on the secondary market. That combination of national history, unique artwork, and surprising value potential makes this one of the most exciting modern quarters to look for. To understand why this Denver Bicentennial quarter commands so much attention, you have to go back to the mid-1970s when the U.S. Mint undertook one of the largest commemorative coin projects in American history. In 1975 and 1976, no quarters carried their normal date. Instead, all quarters, half dollars and dollars, left the mint bearing the dual date 1776 to 1976. The Denver Mint alone struck hundreds of millions of bicentennial quarters, but not all were created equal. Some were struck on press machines experiencing pressure inconsistencies. Others landed on foreign planchette alloys by mistake. The design itself is one of the reasons this coin continues to fascinate collectors. On the obverse, you have the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. But on bicentennial issues, the portrait often shows small yet noticeable variations in strike strength. Some Denver examples have bold hair curls, pronounced cheek contours, and crisp lettering around the rim, while others show weakness due to worn dies or heavy throughput. On the reverse, Jack L.R.'s famous Drummer Boy takes center stage, carrying a colonial-era drum while a victory torch flanked by 13 stars fills the field. What makes the Denver issues particularly interesting is that even in very dirty condition, experienced collectors can still spot subtle traits like doubling on the drumsticks, extra metal around the torch flame, or unusually sharp rims that indicate a stronger strike. Although Denver struck a huge number of bicentennial quarters, true rarity emerges when you study survival quality. Most of these quarters circulated for decades, and many passed through vending machines, laundromats, toll booths, and countless daily transactions. Finding one in pristine condition is already difficult, but finding one in extremely dirty, well-worn condition that still shows key diagnostic traits of a rare strike, an unusual planchette, or a valuable error is even more challenging. Collector demand for the Denver Bicentennial quarter remains strong because it represents a perfect storm of accessibility and rarity. Anyone can find a bicentennial quarter in circulation, but only a tiny fraction have the characteristics that push their value into the hundreds or thousands of dollars. Within the Washington Quarter series, the bicentennial issues break the pattern of the traditional eagle reverse and offer a design that instantly signals history and significance. When it comes to value, the Denver Bicentennial quarter can vary wildly depending on condition, strike, errors, and authenticity. A common circulated example in dirty condition might only bring 25 cents to a few dollars. But when a dirty, heavily circulated coin reveals an exceptional strike, dramatic doubling, or a rare planchette variant after proper evaluation, prices can skyrocket. Some examples authenticated with strong details or confirmed error types have sold from $150 to over $1,200 even while still showing clear signs of circulation. Unusual planchet errors, significant reverse doubling, or sharply struck Denver issues with high detail can reach $2,500 or more. Premium grades and major minting anomalies have brought over $5,000 in rare cases. This wide range is why collectors inspect every bicentennial quarter they find, especially dirty ones, because low-grade appearance doesn't always mean low-grade value. When hunting for the Denver Bicentennial Drummer Boy quarter, always begin by evaluating the overall look of the coin. Even if it's very dirty, check for sharp lines in Washington's hair, crisp lettering, strong rims, and distinct details in the drummer's uniform. Look closely at the drumsticks and the torch to spot doubling or anomalies. The 1776 to 1976 Denver Bicentennial Washington quarter remains one of the most accessible yet unexpectedly valuable modern American coins. Its historical meaning, its bold commemorative design, its survival challenges after decades of circulation, and the extraordinary values achieved by rare varieties make it a standout piece for both beginners and seasoned collectors. And now that we've explored the Denver Bicentennial quarter in all its detail, stay with me as we move on to the next coin in this series, another surprising modern issue that has shocked the collector world with values few people ever expected. And secondly, we're going to explore the most valuable and expensive, the ultra-rare 1966 Washington quarter with the Denver D mint mark stands as one of the most fascinating and sought-after treasures in United States numismatics. Collectors are drawn to it not only for its uncommon appearance, but also for the rich story it carries from a transformative era in American coinage. Even though Washington quarters from the mid-1960s are familiar to most people, certain ultra-rare varieties and high-grade survivors have become prized treasures, captivating enthusiasts who understand how unusual it is to find one in exceptional condition. Its visual appeal, its connection to a pivotal moment in American history, and the rising market demand surrounding top-tier examples have elevated this coin to a respected and valuable collectible. To appreciate its significance, it helps to understand the historical backdrop of 1966. The nation had just shifted from 90% silver coinage to the modern clad composition, a change driven by rising silver prices and a growing coin shortage. The U.S. Mint worked under intense pressure and produced quarters in massive quantities, but only a tiny portion were struck with the precision and quality that collectors now hunt for. While most 1966 quarters came from the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, examples tied to Denver are tied to production adjustments and transitional oversight, making certain rare varieties connected to Denver dies especially fascinating. This coin represents a tangible connection to a period when American coinage rapidly evolved, leaving behind artifacts that now carry tremendous historical weight. The design remains iconic. On the obverse, George Washington's portrait reflects the classic sculpting that has defined the series since its introduction in 1932. The reverse features the bold eagle with outstretched wings, perched atop arrows and surrounded by laurel, symbolizing readiness and peace. The 1966 quarter uses the copper-nickel clad composition introduced just 1 year prior, measuring 24.3 millimeter and weighing 5.67 grams. What makes the rare Denver-related varieties and die anomalies so desirable is how sharply some of them were struck compared with common circulation pieces. In uncirculated condition, the coin displays crisp details, bright luster, and a visual impact that sets it apart from the worn examples most people encounter today. Rarity is what truly elevates the 1966 D-related varieties into the ultra-rare category. No official D-minted circulation strike exists for this date, which is why collectors focus on transitional die varieties and specific Denver die characteristics that slipped into production during the Mint's nationwide restructuring. High-grade examples with these identifiable markers are extremely difficult to locate. The vast majority of 1966 quarters circulated heavily, losing detail and picking up scratches. Finding one in near mint or uncirculated condition requires both skill and luck, and securing a certified top-grade specimen has become a challenge that excites serious numismatists. The scarcity of pristine survivors pushes their desirability even higher. Today's market values reflect that demand. A rare 1966 quarter connected to Denver die varieties or transitional features and certified in high mint state can bring anywhere from $1,000 to $8,000 depending on the grade, eye appeal, and rarity of the particular variety. Coins with striking anomalies or exceptional luster often command the highest premiums. While common circulated examples still hold face value, The upper-tier pieces have shown steady appreciation, supported by strong collector interest and the continued expansion of the Washington quarter market. The combination of historical significance and unmistakable visual presence makes this coin a standout performer in auctions and private sales. Collectors aiming to secure one of these elusive pieces should focus on certified examples graded by reputable services, especially those labeled with unique die markers tied to Denver's production rolls during that year. Study known varieties, examine the strike quality carefully, and compare multiple examples before making a purchase. Buying from respected dealers or recognized auction houses helps ensure authenticity and proper grading. Once acquired, the coin should be stored in protective holders, shielded from humidity and handling, since even small marks can impact value. Engaging with numismatic communities, both online and in person, can provide insights into new finds, trends, and trustworthy sellers. What makes this coin even more compelling is how it continues to bridge generations of collectors, serving as both a historical artifact and a modern-day opportunity. The 1966 Washington quarter tied to Denver die activity represents a moment when the mint's transition created unexpected rarities, giving today's numismatists a chance to uncover something genuinely extraordinary. Every high-grade example tells its own story through its strike quality, surface preservation, and subtle die markers, which is why collectors study these pieces with such care. As more people recognize the significance of transitional year varieties and the scarcity of truly pristine survivors, demand has grown steadily, reinforcing the coin's status as a standout in the Washington Quarter series. For anyone building a serious collection, this coin delivers a mix of challenge, excitement, and long-term value that few modern-era coins can match. The most valuable and ultra-rare 1966 Washington quarter tied to Denver die varieties remains a remarkable blend of history, artistry, and rarity. Its value goes beyond its face denomination, offering collectors a piece of America's transitional coinage era and a fascinating story preserved in metal. It stands as a prized collectible for those who appreciate the evolution of U.S. currency and the intricate details that set rare varieties apart. Its rising demand and steady market performance make it an appealing investment and a rewarding addition to any serious collection. For collectors who enjoy the thrill of discovery, this ultra-rare piece offers lasting appeal. It embodies a crucial moment in U.S. mint history, carries unmistakable charm, and continues to captivate enthusiasts who recognize its true worth. Pursuing one of these remarkable coins is more than an acquisition. It's a meaningful connection to the past and a chance to hold one of the most intriguing pieces of modern numismatics. And thirdly, we're talking about a modern-era Washington quarter that defies all expectations, the most valuable and rare 1990 Washington quarter with the Philadelphia P mint mark, a coin that can literally be worth more than a brand-new car. Our subject is the 1990 quarter from the Philadelphia Mint, identifiable by the absence of a mint mark. On its face, it is a standard coin from the modern era, part of a series that saw billions struck. Yet, within this specific date and mint exists a phenomenal error that catapults it into the realm of numismatic legend. The collectability of this coin hinges entirely on a dramatic minting mistake, one that has created a version of this quarter that is arguably the single most valuable regular issue U.S. quarter from the last half-century. This isn't about a slight doubling or a minor imperfection. This is about a coin that was fundamentally mismade in a way that only a handful of examples are known to exist. To understand the context, we must look at 1990. It was a year of high production for the U.S. Mint, with the Philadelphia facility churning out hundreds of millions of Washington quarters for general circulation. The coin was a workhorse, not a showpiece. The Washington Quarter series itself, begun in 1932, was in its most common phase, with the traditional heraldic eagle reverse still in use before the state quarters program revitalized public interest a decade later. In this environment of routine, automated minting, a profound error occurred. A very small number of planchets, the blank metal discs, intended for the Suzanne B. Anthony dollar found their way into the quarter press. This resulted in a 1990 P Washington quarter struck on a dollar planchet, making it thicker, heavier, and fundamentally different from any other quarter of its year. The design details are where the story becomes visually apparent. The obverse features the familiar profile of George Washington by John Flanagan with the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date 1990. The reverse shows the iconic heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows, and an olive branch with United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and quarter dollar. On the error coin, these designs are not the unique feature, it is the canvas itself. The coin is struck on a copper-nickel-clad planche meant for a Susan B. Anthony dollar. This means it has the same diameter as a quarter, approximately 24.3 millimeter, but the thickness and weight of a dollar, coming in at about 8.1 grams versus the standard quarter's 5.67 grams. The edge is fully reeded, but the coin feels profoundly substantial in hand. The design elements will appear slightly broader and less sharp on the high points due to the metal flowing differently on the thicker planchet. The rarity of this error is nothing short of extreme. It is estimated that perhaps only 5 to 10 examples of the 1990 P Washington quarter on a dollar planchet have ever been confirmed to exist. Survival in any condition is a minor miracle, as such an odd-feeling coin could easily have been caught by sorting equipment at banks or simply dismissed as a slug or token and spent without a second thought. The known specimens have primarily been found in circulation, meaning they show signs of wear and contact. There are no pristine mint-state examples sitting in vaults. Every single known coin has a history, which only adds to its mystique and narrative. Finding one today would be the ultimate example of a needle in a continent-sized haystack. Collector demand for this error is at the absolute peak level. Within the extended Washington Quarter series, which includes billions of coins, this particular error stands alone as its crown jewel for modern issues. It is the key to the entire series for the latter 20th century. Specialist error collectors, Washington Quarter completists, and investors seeking the rarest of the rare all compete for the few specimens that surface. It stands out not for its age or its beauty in the traditional sense, but for the sheer improbability of its existence and the dramatic nature of the mistake. Owning one places a collector in an exceedingly exclusive club. Now, let's address the question everyone has. What is this coin worth in today's market? The value is dictated entirely by its condition and the fiercely competitive nature of the auctions where it appears. A lower grade, circulated example, perhaps grading good or very good, could command a price between $85,000 and $125,000. However, the finest known examples, those grading extremely fine or even about uncirculated, have achieved prices that redefine the market. The current market value for a top-tier specimen is firmly in the range of $150,000 to over $200,000. The record for this coin sits well above $250,000, a figure that transforms a piece of pocket change into a substantial asset. For those inspired to hunt, your collecting strategy must be one of extreme patience and tactile focus. You are looking for weight and feel above all else. A standard quarter feels light and thin. This error will feel chunky, heavy, and unmistakably wrong in comparison. A simple gram scale is your best friend. Any 1990 P quarter weighing over 6 grams demands intense scrutiny. Color and luster are secondary given that all are circulated, but a strong original color is always a plus for grade. Because these were released into circulation, your search should focus on old original bankrolls of quarters from the early 1990s, inherited coin jars or estate collections where coins have been sitting untouched for decades. Submitting any potential find to a top-tier grading service like PCGS or NGC is an absolute necessity for authentication and encapsulation, which will solidify its marketability and value. The 1990 P Washington quarter on a dollar planchet is a numismatic paradox. It is a modern coin with a colonial-sized price tag, a common date quarter that is anything but common. Its importance lies in its stunning rarity, a testament to a minting flaw of epic proportions that slipped through against all odds. Its appeal spans from the new collector dazzled by the what-if dream of finding one to the seasoned veteran who appreciates it as a cornerstone of a world-class error collection. It represents the ultimate fantasy find, a reminder that incredible treasure can still lurk in the most ordinary of places. This incredible error shows just how dramatic modern rarities can be. But what if I told you there's a Lincoln cent from the 1990s, also from Philadelphia, that is just as elusive and valuable for entirely different reasons? That's a story for next time, so make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell turned on. And fourthly, we're talking about the most valuable and expensive United States. The ultra-rare 1965 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark stands as one of the most fascinating and confounding treasures in American numismatics, a coin that captivates enthusiasts with its seemingly impossible existence and extraordinary narrative. This piece is highly sought after not merely for its silver content or age, but for its direct connection to a pivotal moment of transition in the United States Mint's history, making it a subject of intense study and desire. Its appeal lies in the mystery that surrounds its very creation, positioning it as a prized treasure for specialists who pursue the rarest anomalies in the series. The current market demand for a genuine example is exceptionally fierce, driven by the sheer improbability of finding such a coin, turning it into a modern-day numismatic legend that commands awe and premium prices. The historical context of this coin is deeply rooted in the great coinage transition of 1965. In response to a severe national coin shortage and the rising price of silver, the Coinage Act of 1965 eliminated silver from dimes and quarters, replacing it with a clad copper-nickel composition. Crucially, to discourage collectors from hoarding the new coins, the Mint also ceased placing mint marks on all coins, a policy that remained until 1968. Therefore, no quarters dated 1965, 1966, or 1967 were supposed to bear a mint mark, regardless of whether they were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. The 1965 quarter was the very first of these new clad coins, mass-produced in the hundreds of millions. Any genuine 1965 quarter lacking a mint mark is precisely what the Mint intended to produce. The profound irony is that the extraordinary rarity and value come from a completely different source. A minute number of these coins were struck on the wrong planchet. The unique features that define this ultra-rare variety are not found in its design, but in its metallic composition. The obverse features the familiar left-facing portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan, with Liberty above and In God We Trust to the left. The reverse depicts the heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, shielded by the national coat of arms, surrounded by United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. The design is identical to the common clad coin. The miracle lies in the planchet. A small number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on 90% silver planchets left over from 1964. These error coins have the identical weight of 6.25 grams and a distinctive silver ring when struck, unlike the copper-nickel clad coins that show a copper band on the edge. Visually, in hand, a pristine silver example possesses a distinctive luster and color that immediately sets it apart to the trained eye, making it a ghost of the pre-1965 era appearing in the most unexpected of dates. The rarity of a genuine 1965 silver quarter is almost beyond measure, contributing directly to its legendary status among collectors. While mintage figures for the regular clad coin exceed 1.8 billion, the number of silver errors is estimated to be fewer than a dozen confirmed specimens. This extreme scarcity is not a matter of low mintage, but a dramatic minting error of incredible consequence. Condition is paramount, as with all rarities, and the known examples typically grade from mint state to superb gem levels, having been discovered early and preserved with great care. The challenge of finding any example, let alone one in pristine condition, is a pursuit that has defined the careers of dedicated error specialists, driving demand to the highest echelons of the hobby. Market value for this numismatic king of errors reflects its status as a trophy coin. For a certified and authenticated example in mint state condition, prices at auction consistently reach into the tens of thousands of dollars. Realistic price ranges for a genuine specimen begin in the low $20 for lower mint state grades and can soar well beyond $40,000 or even $50,000 for superlative examples with outstanding eye appeal and impeccable pedigree. These values are bolstered not only by the coin's historical importance as a transitional error, but by its visual appeal as a sharp, lustrous silver piece that defies its own date. The market shows a steady appreciation trend, as such coins appear at public sale only once in a generation, creating competitive bidding wars among top collectors and institutions. For collectors aspiring to own this pinnacle rarity, practical advice must be underscored with caution and diligence. Prioritizing certification is non-negotiable. Only examples encapsulated by top grading services like PCGS or NGC, with designations such as 1965-25C struck on a 90% silver planchet, should ever be considered. Inspection should focus on weight and edge composition, but given the sophistication of counterfeits, relying on expert authentication is the only safe path. Purchases must be made through the most reputable auction houses or dealers with proven experience in handling such major rarities. Engaging with the specialized error coin community is invaluable for gaining insights and learning about potential opportunities, though they are exceedingly rare. Proper stewardship is crucial once such a treasure is acquired. Storage must be in a climate-controlled environment with the certified holder offering the primary protection. The coin should never be removed from its slab, and handling should be minimized even with the encapsulation. Maintaining detailed records of the coin's provenance and certification number is essential for both insurance and future resale. Engaging with numismatic literature to understand its full historical context will deepen the owner's appreciation, transforming it from a mere asset into a centerpiece of a collection. For the collector who dreams of securing this numismatic holy grail, the journey itself becomes part of the coin's enduring lore, requiring patience, profound knowledge, and the readiness to act when the nearly impossible becomes briefly attainable. The acquisition of such a piece transcends a simple transaction. It is an entry into an exclusive fellowship of specialists who understand and cherish the profound story it tells, transforming a portfolio into a museum-quality collection with a single, monumental coin that will be admired and discussed by generations of enthusiasts to come. The 1965 Washington quarter, struck on a 90% silver planchet, represents the ultimate blend of historical anomaly, clandestine minting narrative, and extreme rarity. It is a coin that should not exist, yet a handful do, making it a tangible and breathtaking connection to a year of monumental change. Its status as a prized collectible and a strong numismatic investment is unquestioned, embodying the very essence of what drives the passion for coin collecting. For the dedicated numismatist, the pursuit of this quarter is a quest for one of the modern era's most legendary errors, a rewarding addition that represents a lifetime achievement. Its lasting value and profound appeal to collectors worldwide are cemented by its story, its scarcity, and its silent testimony to a moment when the old world of silver coinage accidentally echoed into the new. And at the end, we're exploring the 1970 Denver Washington quarter has become one of the most talked about modern rarities in the coin world, and it's easy to see why collectors chase it with so much intensity. At first glance, it looks like any regular quarter from circulation, but the truth is far more exciting. Certain surviving examples from this year in mint carry hidden traits, rare errors, or remarkable preservation that send their value skyrocketing. These ultra-rare pieces have stunned collectors by reaching unbelievable prices at auction, turning an ordinary 25-cent coin into a treasure that can change someone's life overnight. When a 1970 D quarter appears in a top-grade slab or with a dramatic minting anomaly, bidding wars break out instantly because everyone knows these coins do not surface often, and when they do, they don't stay in the market for long. This coin's growing fame also comes from its connection to a fascinating period in U.S. minting history. By 1970, the country had fully transitioned away from silver coinage, which created a divide between the older silver era and the new clad generation. Most collectors were still chasing silver coins, so the clad quarters of the early 1970s were often overlooked, ignored, or used without a second thought. As a result, only a tiny number of 1970 D quarters were saved in pristine condition. When you combine that oversight with the small number of error strikes that slip through mint inspection, you get an ultra-rare group of survivors that now command staggering prices. Their historical placement alone adds weight to their desirability, making them a powerful symbol of the abrupt shift in U.S. coinage. What really propels the 1970 D quarter rarity into millionaire maker territory is the incredible value its finest examples have achieved. Collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts when a coin proves to be one of the best preserved pieces known. A flawless or nearly flawless 1970 Denver quarter can easily climb into five-figure, even six-figure territory, and the rarest anomalies have been documented fetching even more. Every year, the market sees new record prices because these coins appeal to advanced collectors who are hungry for the highest grades and rarest traits. When two determined bidders want the same ultra-rare quarter, the final sale price can soar far beyond expectations. A large part of this coin's mystique comes from the dramatic errors associated with the 1970 D mintage. Some examples show off-center strikes, doubled elements, die breaks, or unusual planchet characteristics that make them stand out immediately. These breathtaking errors are not simple imperfections. They are dramatic minting accidents that create one-of-a-kind pieces. When an error is bold enough to be visible without a magnifier, collectors rush to secure it because it becomes a trophy coin, something few people can ever hope to own. These errors turn a regular 1970D quarter into a highly coveted masterpiece, elevating its worth far beyond anything you'd expect from a modern clad issue. The rarity of these coins becomes even more striking when you consider how many quarters from this era were used, abused, and circulated for decades. Nearly all ended up scratched, worn, or damaged, which makes pristine survivors shockingly scarce. Finding a sharply struck, immaculate 1970D is like uncovering buried treasure. That intense scarcity is one of the reasons collectors treat these top-grade examples like gold. The numismatic market places a huge premium on condition, and this year's Denver issue proves that even a small difference in grade can mean a difference of thousands of dollars in value. Collectors also love this coin because of its clean, timeless Washington quarter design, a classic portrait that feels familiar yet iconic. While many modern designs change frequently, this portrait has lasted for generations and holds deep nostalgic appeal. When a rare version of a beloved design emerges, its emotional value combines with its rarity to create explosive demand. The 1970D rarity sits at the perfect crossroads between historical familiarity and extraordinary scarcity, which makes the coin irresistibly appealing to both experienced collectors and newcomers looking for that first big score. Market trends have only amplified the excitement surrounding this quarter. As more collectors enter the hobby, demand for top-grade and ultra-rare modern coins grows stronger each year. Prices for key modern rarities have surged across the board, and the 1970D quarter remains one of the leading stars of this movement. Every time a high-grade example appears in an auction, collectors watch closely because the final price often sets new benchmarks. The coin has become a representation of the modern rarity boom, showing how even recent-era coins can reach life-changing values. What makes this coin so thrilling is the real possibility that one could be hiding in someone's old jar of change, an overlooked keepsake, or a forgotten drawer. Stories of rare coins found in everyday places keep circulating because the potential is truly there. The idea that such a valuable piece could still appear in circulation adds a layer of mystery that collectors love. It keeps the hunt alive. It encourages people to check every quarter they come across, and in rare cases, that curiosity pays off with jaw-dropping rewards. The appeal of the 1970D ultra-rare Washington quarter goes beyond money. It's a symbol of discovery, luck, history, and the thrill of uncovering something extraordinary in a world where most people assume treasure no longer exists. It teaches collectors that not all valuable coins are ancient or made of silver. Some are hidden in plain sight, and their true worth can be unlocked simply by knowing what to look for. This sense of possibility is exactly what fuels the passion behind coin collecting. The true power of the 1970D Washington quarter lies in how unpredictable its value can be once it hits the open market. Collectors know that this coin doesn't follow normal pricing patterns because its worth depends entirely on how rare the specific example is. When a quarter from this year shows razor-sharp details, untouched surfaces, and a perfectly preserved strike, it moves into elite territory instantly. Add a dramatic minting error or an unusual anomaly, and the price can explode far beyond traditional estimates. This unpredictability makes the coin even more exciting because every new discovery has the potential to reset the market. A single newly found specimen can rewrite what collectors thought was possible, shaking up the entire numismatic world in a way few modern coins ever do. Another reason this coin draws such intense interest is the way it connects everyday people to unbelievable wealth. Most collectors enjoy the hobby because it offers history, beauty, and the thrill of the hunt. But the 1970D quarter brings something more, genuine life-changing potential. It sits at that rare intersection where ordinary pocket change transforms into a prize worth thousands, tens of thousands or more. Stories keep emerging about ordinary individuals discovering rare examples tucked inside old rolls, inherited jars, or childhood collections. What makes this coin even more unforgettable is how it continues to gain recognition in mainstream collecting circles. Every year, more dealers, experts, and grading professionals emphasize the importance of examining the early 1970s Denver quarters more carefully. Auction houses now highlight 1970D rarities with bold headlines because bidders respond aggressively when one appears. Social media collectors share photos, grading results, and error discoveries, building more momentum around this year and mint mark. As awareness grows, demand grows with it, pushing prices higher and tightening the supply of top-quality pieces. Bold. As interest continues to grow, the 1970 D rarity stands as one of the most electrifying coins on the market today, a modern treasure with the power to rewrite someone's future in a single moment. If you have old quarters tucked away, now is the time to examine every detail. A single overlooked coin could be worth a fortune. This quarter isn't just change from 1970. It's a reminder that unimaginable wealth can still be found where you least expect it. This is why collectors chase it with so much excitement and why it remains one of the most valuable and sought-after Washington quarters of the modern era.